The Glenn Beck Program.
So what did we learn from this election so far? It's not over, but what are we learning? Well, the left is learning, I think, all about racism. How does Trump have so much of the Latino vote? I really don't get it. The response, if the Latino vote pushes Trump over the edge, they immediately become white. Excuse me? Turns out this is really the country we thought it was. That's the left. That's what they're saying. Andrew Vonacek says, we social scientists failed to predict or even understand the appeal of Trump. We need to do better to understand why people chose to vote for him. A lot of people did, so there's probably some strong reasons. If we don't understand, we'll miss the next one, too. The next what? The next what? The next guy who is a violent racist that has to be stopped? There's no actual learning going on there. So who are you really? What did we learn? Oh, we learned some good stuff. And I share it with you in 60 seconds.
This is the...
All right. I think we can all agree 2020 has been awful. It's more awful than Andrew Cuomo. And I've learned Andrew Cuomo is awful. I even have the mug.
Andrew Cuomo is awful.com? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, man, he's awful.
He is.
2020 is really starting to make sense to me. I want to make sure that you are not feeling down in the dumps today. I want to make sure that you are not despairing today. Because there are some things we have learned over the last few days, and it's important. Give me a couple of minutes. One of the most important things that we have learned over the last few days is that there are nearly 70 million people who love America and reject all of this political correctness, that reject the cancel culture, that reject the lies that America is a horrible place. 70 million people that look at America the way you do. Many of them learning to see America through the lens of founding principles for the very first time. And this alliance of freedom, it is broader and more inclusive than it ever has been before, at least in my lifetime. It is now made up of old and young, male and female, black, white, brown, because it's beginning to be a coalition that is not about policies. It's about the truth. We learned that just like us, millions of Americans search and study and pray and try to understand the principles that have made America great and will keep America great. We'll build on that greatness. We found out that millions of Americans who really weren't paying attention for a long time, the media woke up and they started to see, wait, this isn't fair at all. That there are millions of Americans that they may not even like Donald Trump, but they stood for Donald Trump because they understood what was at stake. We saw millions of our fellow citizens line the streets and stand in the cold to be counted among the defenders of our nation, believers, patriots, warriors. The left dismisses everybody who voted like you and I did as dupes or hateful racists who are just following the racist in chief, because that's who America really is. And we got to stop that. We have to understand them so we can get them out of their racism. That's what they believe about us. But we actually talk to one another. We know one another. We understand that every one of us is different. There is no typical American that loves the Constitution. It used to be all Americans loved the Constitution, but the progressives over the last 100 years have just taken it apart and destroyed it. And with it, they have destroyed the hopes and dreams and confidence of millions of Americans. We're bound by the best of what makes America great. The Constitution, the fact that all men are created equal and endowed by their Creator with certain rights, liberty, opportunity, equal opportunity, not equal outcomes, but equal opportunity. The knowledge that all men are created and created equal, that rights don't come from the government, they come from God. We believe that unity of principle and purpose is what has always held us together, not our hatred or racism, but something much bigger than us, something far more noble than us. 70 million people know that this isn't a perfect nation. The Constitution doesn't even say we're going to create a perfect nation. It says create a more perfect nation. And that is a job for each and every one of us every single day. Those are the principles that hold the Constitution and this country together. Not blind collectivism dictated by an elite few. But the somber truth is that while we found our patriotic voice, millions of our fellow citizens found something else. Nearly 75 million people voted for Biden. And while many of them seem just to be voting against Donald Trump, blind hatred, voting against Trump and his Trump zombies, I also now believe that many of them are not just trying to get rid of Orange Man. And we may share something in common with those people. Just as we're not uninformed, hapless, blindness, useful idiots following a leader, neither are they. I believe that more of them than we have thought are just as ideological as we are. But mark my words, they are not lovers of truth. What is the first sign of that? Anyone who says, shut up, sit down, that's not the answer. You have this answer that we all agree on, or you're out. Anyone who says that, that's a club you don't want to be in. Anyone who says that is forcing you into the position of being a mental midget. If you're a person of color that disagrees with your party, I don't care which party it is, and you go against the grain, that doesn't make you a sellout. That makes you an individual. And that's what America is about. The individual. Stop with these groups. It's the individual that matters. The independent thinker, the one who goes his own way, the little guy, the underdog. That's what America has always been. There's a lot of people in this country, more than I thought, that divert and even will destroy the truth. They want to wipe out our history. They tell us every day not to believe what we're seeing with our own eyes. They stand in front of burning cars and burning buildings and say it's mostly peaceful. Well, I don't know. Even if that car behind you and the crowd behind you is only 10% violent, that's enough. If you voted for Trump, it doesn't make you a zombie or anti-anything. We are for freedom. Not approved freedom. Not the freedom that we have to look to our master and say, can we do that? That's approved freedom. That is the freedom that others have in Europe, not America. We believe in actual freedom. Many Americans who voted with the left, they do not think the Constitution is just a tired old document. No, they took that mask off long ago. They believe now it is a hateful set of ideals designed by a group of hateful men. And if you find yourself voting with the Democrats, you find yourself there, you better open your eyes, because if what I just said to you says, how dare you say that about us? That's what your leadership is saying. And it is their intention to utterly dismantle it. So at some point, we have to believe you believe this. To them, men and women are not created equal. There isn't even such a thing as men and women anymore. While we seek law and order, they seek chaos. While we seek freedom, they seek tyranny. They believe in fear and hate. I believe in evil. I do believe in evil, and I see evil. The author of all chaos is the Dark One himself. Chaos. Anyone who is seeking chaos, anyone who is seeking bloodshed, anyone who says you are guilty of something just because of your color, that is evil. It is evil. We are given agency by our Creator, and that can never, ever be taken away. This election cycle has shown us that millions of us are united in that knowledge. But many in our nation have thought long and hard about Marxism. Most of us didn't even think, it wasn't even on our radar for far too long. And now we are leading the charge against it. Thousands who escaped tyranny, the tyranny of socialism and authoritarianism, are speaking louder than ever before, warning us to hold on to our American values. And I got to tell you something. You can put me in prison. You can remove my tongue. And I will still believe these things, and I will still stand for these things. I will write these things with my finger in the sand if I have to. I will scratch it into the walls of a prison with my fingernails bloody. All men are created equal, because it is true. The more they divide and try to conquer, in their arrogance they will lose. The more they divide and conquer, the more we must bind together in knowledge and strength and love. We must stand together, because the times ahead are going to be tough. The times of, it's easy to be an American and believe in the Constitution. It's easy to be a Christian. Those days are over. And the leftists will not give up. They are led by a dark power that seeks to destroy not just America, not just our way of life, but freedom itself. But you know what? It's the same story every time. Darkness always thinks it's going to win. Darkness is dispelled by the light. Don't you dare get discouraged. You have proof you're not alone. But you also have proof of the army that you are up against. We are not people that are itching for a fight, looking for a fight. I don't want to fight. I think civil war is the worst thing that could possibly happen. But if the left thinks we're going to sit down as they dismantle the Constitution, no, I won't do it. I won't do it. And this coalition isn't the one that Donald Trump built. Donald Trump built it, and if he leaves, we're all alone. No, we're not. No, we're not. Donald Trump is a product of us. Donald Trump is a response to what millions of people have been yearning for. Somebody who will fight for them against the machine. And he's got millions of brothers and sisters that are standing behind him, beside him, and we are standing with and for each other. More than ever before, it is time to stand, to unite, and to show courage. Here's the good news. America, as our founders saw it, still lives and breathes in the hearts of millions. Hold on to that truth and hold on to each other.